Today I'm going to be talking about how to bark. After my How to Howl video on YouTube, I got a request from username NintendGirl14 asking how it's done. So here it is. Throughout this video you may hear my dog Callie running back and forth into the room, so when I bark or howl or whimper or do any of my little exercises for barking, she may run into the room. She may even bark herself. I have no idea at this point what she is going to do. She is known for barking at me in the past when I bark, so we will see what she does. I'll try to explain to the best of my ability exactly how to bark. As with the howls, this is something that just comes naturally to me. I've been doing it since I was a small child. We've always had dogs around and I've picked up on their language. If you have your own dogs, do not be surprised if your dog responds to your barks, because after all, this is their language. You may not exactly know exactly what you're saying yet at this point, but eventually I will make another video explaining the meanings of barks, whimpers, and growls, and howls. So that way you can speak to your dog a little bit. Hey, Callie. All good dog trainers will tell you that in order to be a good dog trainer, you have to get into the mindset of the dog, because then you learn their motivations and their emotions and everything like that. So it would be the same if you're barking and imitating a dog. You want to get into their mindset. So I use the shape-shifting methods, as with the howl. I already explained that. I just go into the mind of the dog and let the sounds flow. Now, in preparation for barking, one thing is water. I don't, because my vocal cords are so used to barking to begin with that I don't necessarily have to keep my vocal cords hydrated. But a lot of other people, they're not used to doing barks because it's not a natural human sound, so their vocal cords are not used to it. Another thing that can help you in barking and in learning the canine language is to actually watch the dog as they bark. You will notice that some dogs, well, almost all dogs, if you actually pay attention, they will let some air puff into their cheeks, and their cheeks will puff out when they bark. So if you can imitate that, as when you're pushing the air out of your vocal cords, you let it collect in your cheeks, that may help your bark sound more realistic. Also, if you let some of the air go up into your nasal cavities as well, that also produces a more dog-like sound, because most dogs have an elongated muzzle. Humans have a very short muzzle, so for us to project that sound also out for our nasal cavities also helps the bark sound more canine, instead of just you let it come through. Now, right now, this is not straightening my vocal cords at all, but you'll have to work up to this level. Just go rough for a while, and just gradually decrease your tone. Start out low tones. Just go. Just let that air escape. You can even start out doing a cartoonish dog bark, like ruff, 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 ruff. Just go rough, and then increase the depth. Ruff, 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 ruff. Ruff, 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 ruff. Or you can even go the opposite and go in the higher pitch. Ruff, 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 ruff. You can do rough, or you can go arf. And add ruffs and different vowels in it. Now, Callie just run into the room because she heard me barking. Didn't you, Callie? Even getting into whimpers. Whimpers prepare your vocal cords for making the sound. Callie's probably going to come running out any minute now. Hi, Callie. Are you going to speak? Speak. And now we imitate her. Everybody will have their own unique bark depending on their own vocal range. People with lower voices will have a deeper bark than people with higher voices. That's just how it is. People with higher voices can imitate the low bark, and people with lower voices can imitate the high bark, but their natural bark is going to be wherever their own vocal cords are at. I think that I probably have a mid-range voice tone. I have no idea really, but I know that my barks are usually very similar to my dog Callie's barks, and she is a mid-sized dog. She's a 40-pound mixed breed. So we have a very similar bark sound in the depth and projection of our voices. One exercise that you might want to do is to pretend that you're fogging glass, going and go really deep with it. Push out from your diaphragm. And even add the grunt behind it. You can even growl. That all is very deep sound from your diaphragm. Basically, canines are communicating through their diaphragms. A lot of the canine sound comes straight from the stomach area. It's pushed out through the vocal cords. So what we want to do is we want to practice using our diaphragm to make the sounds through the vocal cords. So just practice like you're fogging glass. And then you could add the growls and the grunts. And one thing that really helps with learning how to bark is watching YouTube tutorials on how to do heavy metal growls and heavy metal screams, death metal stuff. That stuff is very, very useful in learning how to bark because it's basically the same animalistic sound. So there's some really good tutorials on there on how to do that as well. There's even one girl on there who actually talks about barking like a dog to help with the metal growls. So I found that was very interesting. So we start off with the fogging glass move, then add more projection through the vocal cords. Arr, arr, arr. And that's how we start a bark. Just arr. Make that sound come out. That you will probably notice that is also a very canine sound. They go arr, 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 arr. One thing I notice is that when my dogs see something at the window that they are alerting to, they will first go arr, arr, before going into a bark. They will go arr, arr, arr. It's all a very deep sound. The whole canine language is projected out through the diaphragm and the stomach.